if the VAT is so bad in Europe, why is the Senate and the Congress even thinking about doing it in the United States?
Well, they're not thinking about doing it yet, but that's the plan. And I get that straight out of Washington. They're going to bury Americans in taxation. And the excuse will be, we're going to pay all this debt back, debt from the war, which is now $1 trillion, wars and occupations, and they're going to have another war. And then also, we are getting revenues in which meet 50% of the budget deficit that we have right now, and it's going to go on for year after year after year. It's not going away, and in order to fund that, they are going to enslave the American worker, just like the European workers are enslaved. 53.3% taxation on average in Germany, plus VAT, which is about 20%. So you're in for 73%. That's the same bag that the Americans are going to be put in. So, meine deutsche Freund, bleibt sie in Deutschland. I shouldn't go into German on this program. But anyway, Mr. German, stay in Germany because it's going to be worse over here in the United States.
Okay, we'll pass that on. He started laughing as soon as you spoke your speech. I want to get. I got another Marine who says, I disagree. We have more Marines here in Paris than you do. You just have to stop and think for a second.
Yeah, get your bayonets out quick.
Yeah, and the Marine in Paris is a sergeant. He comes in and he says, Mr. Chapman, normally here in France, workers take off much of the summer. However, just this last week, there is something of a revolution going on here in France at the former Royal Chateau, which roughly is 30 miles outside of Paris. The tourists are jostling alongside the mansions and restoration experts because normally there's not that many tourists here, and it's even worse this time. But the French government's $37 billion economic stimulus package we're being told is 6 months behind. 6 months ahead of America, or America is 6 months behind France. Besides the largest hotel here, the Fontainebleau, about 50 chateaus around Paris are receiving facelifts at the expense of the French taxpayers. You talk about VAT in Germany, come to France.
Well, I usually go to the Bastille Day parade on the 14th, and if you can remember, last year when I said that, one of the fellows in Paris said, gee, you're the only American I ever heard of that knew July 14th was Bastille Day. I remember that.
Yeah. That's very true.
But, one of the nice things about Paris, which is a city of light this time of year, is that it's daylight up until about 10:30 or 11 o'clock in the summer. And I always like that. And France, and particularly Paris, is a very, very interesting city, and especially if you speak French. And although they tend to not like outsiders, and I'm talking about French outsiders, never mind other foreigners. But anyway, the taxes are outrageous in Europe, and that's what's going to happen in America. And you want to escape it, you might try going to the third world, and a lot of people are. I get maybe 10 letters a day, where shall I go? And Latin America is usually the biggest destination, places like Mexico, Costa Rica, Panama, Uruguay, Venezuela, Colombia. And a lot of people are looking to leave the United States, at least by my calculations. I mean, that's, to me, 10 people a day is a lot.
No, I can believe that. That's over 3,000 a year. And who's coming in to replace those people? Illegal immigrants who can't even work in the public marketplace, but they're going to take advantage of the system, and they're not paying into the system at all. To me, that's a big disparity. Too much leaving. And all of the illegals are sending the dollar back out of the United States. What's going to happen, Mr. Chapman, when all of these illegals have all their paper greenback in Mexico, when the United States decides to say, well, we're going to switch our currency, and unless you're inside the United States, your paper money that says Federal Reserve notes is worthless. What's going to happen then?
Well, that is possible. The British did that in the mid-1930s when they came off the gold standard, and the British pound went into a funk. And the only places they accepted the pound from were the colonies. And other than that, everybody else who had pounds got stuck with them. And so it's something to keep in mind. I would think that somewhere along the line here in the next year or two, there's a good possibility the dollar will be devalued. And I would think it could be on maybe a 3-to-1 basis. And I'm just guessing now. And because in relation to other currencies, the dollar is going to go down from here at least 50%. And it's already gone down previously. So in order to become competitive again, they would have to devalue by 3-to-1 in my estimation. And I might change my mind on that too after I see better figures. And so what do? How do you protect yourself? You own gold, the only real asset, the only real money in history. I've been telling you people this for 3 years now, is it, Drew?
3 years and almost 8 months.
No, there you go, almost 4 years. And everybody who's gotten involved in gold and silver related assets have all they're either even or they've made money. And so if you don't have dollars and you have gold, and even if gold doesn't go up and the dollar goes down by 2/3, you're a big winner. Because then you can convert the gold for more dollars. New dollars. And I don't see them issuing any other kind of currency. I think it'll be $1.
I heard that. Mr. Chapman, we'll take a break. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in 3.5 minutes. 3.5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. This is Drew Raines, Wind Talkers Radio Network.